Hey everybody, my name is Yyanthire. So I wanted to switch things over and start doing more of a regular style of vlog. In this I'm going to be talking about what I'm trying to do with the game and where I'm trying to go with it. To start off, let's talk about what has happened in the past about 6 months. In this time I've taken the game and I've switched it over from 2D into a fully 3D world. With the last thing that I've done is fixing a bug in regards to saving. I can actually start to show that off now if I were to save the game. Go ahead and save it. Right now the loading and quit the main menu features from this are non-functional, but they are functional from the main menu, so I can kind of show that from here. We'll have to actually quit the entire game and launch it back up. We'll just press continue. Essentially everything's in there. From here, the first thing I'd like to be trying to do is essentially rework a lot of the gameplay. So the gameplay is pretty much the same as it was in the 2D version, it's just 3D now. So you can do stuff like press spacebar and just click. But there's a lot of various stuff, so you can cast spells from the hotbar too. Let's go show that off real quick. Get out of here. And let this unit kind of take some damage from this enemy. So right now the gameplay is pretty much just like this. I'm not really doing anything, I'm just kind of standing around, letting the characters attack and die almost. Let's get out of here. Let's see if I can run away. Oh, no, he's still aggroed. Oh wait, yeah, there he goes. Okay, so now he's over there and I can kind of grab one of my units. And I can cast my healing spell on him. So here's the current state of the gameplay. I want to try and start reworking a lot of things. In terms of a rework, I'm not entirely certain what directive I want to go. I just have an idea I want to strive for. So in these vlogs, I would like to attempt to kind of capture that and just give you guys an idea of how everything is going and how I'm essentially piecing it all together. I'm sure a lot of people that are new and aspiring programmers might take an interest in this. Sure, a lot of people that are interested in just game development in general might have some kind of interest in what's going on here, but I'm attempting to kind of do more documentation into what's going on instead of just showing you the final product as I've done in the past vlogs. So without further ado, let's kick this off. Let's just kind of go through and see how I'd like to develop this game. Alright, so I think the first thing I need to do is just simply start off small. With this, that's just going to mean I just want to do one single character. That's it. That's all you get to control. Over time we'll add more, but for the time being I want to make sure that right now just one character movement feels good. I think it feels alright-ish, but I also want to have the gameplay be reflected in that too. Right now, I think the main thing I kind of want to strive for is just you can move your units around like so. I think that's good. I think I'll need to be working on it just a little bit. I feel like it could be a little bit more polished, but the combat is the main thing. So right now you can just press spacebar and cast a spell. I think that's okay. That's your default attack. But to cast any of your other advanced spells, we head in here, you'll have to drag them onto your hotbar. And I think I want this hotbar to be the central hub of all of this. So this is the spell that's currently being cast whenever you press spacebar and click. But I want this just to be to the point where the user has to press the button in order to even bring it up. Because right now that's not even hooked up. You can't even do a default cast like that. You have to use the spacebar. Versus all the other spells, you can bring them up with the hotkey and cast them. So it'd be something like this, where I'll press W for the fireball spell and you bring it up. You'll be able to start to try and cast it. I want things to kind of move a little bit slow. I don't think I'm going to touch the enemy AI for a little bit. That's going to come a little bit later. But as of right now, I think this is probably the start. I want to try and just kind of iron this out, make it just so that you're all just casting your spells from the hotbar, and clean that up, and just kind of make the single individual character experience the best that I can do. And then from there I'll start to think about tossing an enemy, seeing how that plays, and then adding in potentially a second unit and just kind of going up from there. So let me work on that. I'll show you in the next clip what I've got going. Oh, and one quick thing before I switch over. I think it's kind of cool that I can just sort of like bounce ideas off both myself and also potentially you guys in the comments. So if you have some ideas, suggestions, things you think you like what you're seeing or anything like that, just sound off in the comments, because then I'll kind of know. I'll be able to kind of work with it from there. Okay, so I just did a few things in addition to switching out my mic, if you couldn't tell. Let's go ahead and just start it up. So the first thing I did that you'll probably immediately notice is, once this loads. So in here, whenever we try and deselect the unit, I have it just automatically selecting everything. I think this is going to be a good baseline to kind of go off of, so that at any point in time you accidentally deselect all your units, it's actually just going to reselect them. The reason why I think this is going to be good is because casting a lot of spells, sometimes I tend to deselect my units, which then just makes the fight go even worse. So as you can see here, I'll be that flickering going on with them. That's every time I click, it's going to deselect them, but then it's going to automatically reselect them back. The next thing I did was I made it so that the unit's not going to auto-engage, auto-retaliate. So let's go over here, we'll kind of show that off in action. So originally, when your unit was in the game, anytime it would get hit by an attack, it would just start to attack back. I turned that off. I also made it so that when you cast a spell, you just cast that spell. The reason why I did this is because I think this will kind of play a little bit cleaner. It'll just let you kind of really control when those spells are going off. Right now it's just right-clicking to attack, but eventually it's actually going to be casting from the hotbar. You can see that he's actually going after the home over here, which is pretty funny. So you can kind of cast a spell, move, cast a spell, kind of move. I want to keep this like more clean movement where you can move when you're attacking too. I think that's also pretty unique in its own right. Okay, so that's about it for so far. I'll keep working on it. There's some more things I like to do, and I'll see you in the next clip. Hey everybody, I got a quick little interlude for you. I just got the Matasta model back. So as you can see here, we got it and all of its animations in. We can start to kind of move it around. Show you guys off that stalking animation going on. It, of course, has an attack. Casted just a little simple fireball. Pretty cool. And then, of course, he should be able to die. Alright, hope you like the new little model. That's going to be one of our new enemies. So when I was testing my auto-selection mechanism against multiple units, I was noticing it not to work. So I had to throw in a little bit of code just to make it so I can select individual units, move them around, still do block selection. So there we go. I'll still be able to do a recall selection, so I'm going to do a shift 1 here. And when I press 1 again, it should recall that same character. Then of course you can press Control to select everything, press Alt to remove things, and Shift to kind of toggle between them all. Just like that. Alright, so I got movement indicators now in. This is all done off of a little object pool, so you can spam it as much as you want. It's not going to lag the game out. I did a few other things too. Let's go ahead and let's start with the spellbook. Let's hop in here. So I totally got rid of the default section in here. When we go and look at an enemy, the enemy's one's still going to be there. So that's important to keep. Let's kind of head out so we can cast regular spells all around here. I made it so that the normal Mystic Bolt doesn't really do any ally damage, but this Lesser Fireball is going to be able to, so I can show that off right here. See, we took a little bit of damage. If you can see that, I'll take some more damage. And kind of show it off. So now we're taking some damage. Now we can also heal ourselves. All these spells are going to be basically just AoE casts, so you're going to be able to just kind of bring up this, cast a spell, move around, all that kind of stuff. I don't really want any direct combat like there was in the 2D version, where you like right-click enemies and stuff like that. I want it to be a lot more directed through here, through your spells that you're using. So let's go and find an enemy. So as you can see here, I'm right-clicking them as much as I want. I'm not going to be attacking them. since that's been turned off, but I'm going to go ahead and I can cast some spells on him. Let's see, some of these spells go off. So he's taking a little bit of damage. Can't really tell. Yeah, oh, you can tell a little bit. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get away from him. Oh, I guess he's running away anyway. And then as I was mentioning previously, if we were to open up the spell book and go into the Discovered tab in Creatures, you notice that the default attack is still there, so that when you're playing around the game and you see an enemy and you don't recognize it, you can go and look up all of their spells. So as you can see here, he has a little teleport one and his normal fireball. We're not going to get that out of the Disciple anymore. We're just going to have the normal default spell just listed directly under their General tab now. I think that's going to play a little bit better. Alright, so I did a bit more work on the combat. I think I have it up to a state that I want. Let's go ahead, I'm just going to grab the Mystic Bolt for now. So we're going to kind of go ahead and make our way over to the Lesser Arcoil. That's going to be the starting enemy for the game. It's going to have low HP and be somewhat easy to kill, but still pretty deadly. That's how I want the first enemy to be. Someone that's just like, it can kill you if you're not paying attention, but it won't as long as you are doing your due diligence. So let's just, I'm just going to cast a simple spell here, kind of show off basic combat. You can move while attacking, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that I've talked about in the last clip, but now it's kind of been reworked for this particular enemy. It's going to have this little teleport ability, and also a fireball. It's just going to keep casting at us. Let's get hit by one of these. As you can see here, it does quite a bit of damage. We're already down to 60% health and we got hit twice there. As you can notice here, he's also down to 85% health because I just casted a spell on him. It's just going to keep casting a few more spells. He's going to kind of chase a little bit, and our Mystic Bolt is a pretty slow to cast spell, so we got to kind of like aim it, and also kind of take into account he's going to be teleporting around a little bit if I wait too long. So let me just kind of dodge around, and this is kind of how I anticipate the baseline combat to be. It's just one simple enemy. He's pretty easy to kill. And we're just kind of like dodging around, moving around. Sometimes you kind of like run around a little clockwise fashion to kind of dodge all the spells, but he's already dead. I think that's going to be a pretty good, okay standard to kind of go by. Lots of movement, that's what I want. Lots of spell casting too, that's also pretty important. As you notice there, I was pretty much pressing Q the whole time and casting spells all around. I'll wait for this to cast, I kind of dodge those spells around, then I queue up another one. It's all pretty straightforward, as you can imagine. One enemy's not going to be too scary, but when I have like 5 of these things in here, it's going to start to get a little bit more rigorous. So let's actually go ahead and I'm going to switch to the other spell. Let me reset the game real quick. But I have another spell, the Lesser Fireball. During the demo for the game, you're going to actually unlock that a little bit later. I want it to kind of be hidden behind some enemies and maybe like a little mini boss or something. But eventually you'll get this spell. It deals a lot more damage. I'm going to put the heal on here too just to kind of show it off. But it also costs a ton more mana too. So I want this to kind of be like this is the spell that most users are probably going to be, or most players are going to be using. But this one's just kind of like backup. It's there. One key factor between both of these spells is, as probably mentioned in the previous clips, this does no damage to your unit. However, this one will. So if I were to get hit by this, I'm already down to about 80-something% health. It's going to regenerate, of course, and I'll kill him so it's regenerating faster, but I'm already a little bit low on mana, as you can tell. It's hard to see, but it's at around 80% right now. Let's go fight this thing with the new Fireball spell. Cast it on him. Already down to 50% health. And of course, we're not taking any hits here. Let's just run away a little bit. And he's going to... Oh, he almost got out of it, but he didn't. So as you can see here, dodged all those spells. Killed him pretty quickly. I want this to be a pretty strong spell, but something you gotta be careful when casting so you don't accidentally hit your own unit like that. We didn't take any damage, but we can heal up anyway. So that's going to probably be the baseline combat. It's just some simple spells here, one simple unit. I think we're ready to kind of go up from here, maybe second unit. Maybe we can start to kind of work in some other stuff, but
for right now, I think this is a good baseline combat, and from there I can just kind of add more cool spells and just make it that much more complicated and more fun to play around with. Adding in a second unit is of course going to be coming as soon as I feel like it's ready to be added to the game. Right now it's just one unit, just move them around. But I think that wraps up this for now. I think we're going to be good. So until next time, thanks for watching.